All right, so we're going to jump right into this. Thank you, Mark. Food Bank for New York City is the city's major anti-hunger organization. 33 years ago, the city's original soup kitchens and food pantries founded us to serve them. We are inextricably tied to our network of what is now more than 1,000 charities. They deliver food and vital services to our city's most vulnerable. Every day, my organization has as few as 15 or as many as 25 tractor-trailer trucks on the road. Last year, from our 90,000 square foot warehouse in the South Bronx, we distributed 120 meals every minute. Food Bank for New York City, you all will notice that I keep stressing that for, serves charities which serve people in need. As Food Bank for New York City, you should know that the for, which is always capitalized, is actually our favorite and most important word. It serves as a bit of a forecast, if you will, for mission, purpose, and audience. You know, while preparing to speak to you guys today, I'm gonna have a little confession. Boy, did I struggle. You know, I work at a food bank, and I feared, and possibly fear, that you guys are quietly wondering what in the heck is she talking about when it comes to a good experience. But Mark Hurst told me to give the speech I've always wanted to give. Saying the things that I wish that people would just allow me to say. So you should also know I'm actually joined by several food bank staffers. They're all around. You guys wave so people can see you. They're all over the place. And what I can tell you, a little secret, is that all of them are holding their breath and praying over both this speech and Mark Hurst. But that's okay. So I'm going to summarize our journey over the past few years as we've attempted to change the game on how 1 out of every 5 New Yorkers is served. That's right, so let's just start right there. Everybody. 1 out of 5 New Yorkers is served by a food bank. In the wealthiest city, they are relying on a food bank because from time to time, they struggle to afford food. What's most interesting about poverty and hunger, now that's a photo from an actual pantry line in a neighborhood in Queens, is that it largely remains hidden from the naked eye. 1 in 5 New Yorkers means that every New Yorker knows someone who is a client of Food Bank. Yet it's a title that no one likes to claim. You see, hunger looks different in New York City. An apartment struggling from hunger is often 1 mile away from the wealthiest people in this country. Hunger in New York City is not about bloated bellies and televised famine. It's often employed. Sometimes she's a veteran. Oftentimes she's a mom. More and more, she's a senior. They live on every borough, including Manhattan, and they are not a phenomenon. Actually, they are part of the 47 million Americans who struggle to afford food in this country. Their paths are unique, yet they're also similar, and almost always littered with shame. Who wants to admit that you can't feed your kid or yourself? No one. Nevertheless, there are 400,000 children in this city who get their dinner from a soup kitchen or pantry. By the way, that's the same number of people who live in Miami. That's 1 out of every 6 children in this city. You know, and I talk about kids a lot because I worry about kids a lot in this city. I worry about them primarily because poverty acts as a bit of a stain. It colors your beliefs. It colors your hopes. It colors your reality. And I always worry about what should be a blip on the screen, something similar to maybe Oprah Winfrey, could be confused with birthright. There's a reason why I worry about them, and it's because of this kid. Isn't he handsome? I'm gonna try that again. Isn't he handsome? Thank you. Well, he's my godson, Brandon. This kid is good at everything. I'm not saying that because I'm his godmother. He's good at everything. He has been given the world. I know it because I have the receipts. It's never occurred to him that he may struggle ever. This kid is convinced that he will have a positive and bountiful future. In fact, I've watched him become visibly uncomfortable on one of his going to the hood with Auntie Maggie trips. He feels out of sorts, scared even. This bothers me because we are raising him, expecting him to be a leader, period. Seriously. Since he was 2, I've lovingly whispered in his ear, "You will succeed or Auntie will kill you." I'm serious. It's sort of like a Tiger Mom thing, except it has a little alley cat and hyena mixed in. But I love him enough to do that for him and his future. But in all seriousness, I want him to be a leader. I expect that. And what I know, based on my knowledge, is that you can't lead what you don't know. And you certainly can't connect with what you fear. His discomfort is understandable. There is a chasm between this boy from Downingtown, Pennsylvania, and the children food bank serves. Gaps and chasms between groups breed fear and misunderstanding. Lack of familiarity allows ignorance and bias to sprout and grow. This isn't just food bank talk. We live in a country, everybody, where an elected official can shout to cut food stamps because they're hurting the economy, and they're applauded or met with agreeable silence. When the reality is that $1 to a person on food stamps actually returns $1.80 back to local economy. So poor people actually don't harm communities, but an ignorant base allows poor leadership to flourish. And that certainly harms everyone. Now, I want to let you know that really has nothing to do with my speech, but since he said I could say the stuff I always wanted to say, that's one of them. Now, so, as my granny would say, it just burns my goat. Serving New Yorkers in need has taught me that while food is needed, it actually is not the greatest need facing hunger and poverty. The dirty little secret is that based on where a person experiences hunger can determine how long they experience it and how much they will be underserved. The truth is that the bite of poverty and hunger is actually sharpened best by failures in awareness and stewardship. So 4 years ago, Food Bank's board of directors approved our organization going in a very different direction. They green-lighted us, changing the way we go about our business, serving charities and people. They okayed us turning our world, beliefs, successes, upside down, all in the name of being more effective. So now, every day, my team attempts to use every part of our organization to change how hunger is confronted in every neighborhood. We came up with 4 major needs that would best help us to impact hunger. They include leadership, information, resources, service. But in order for us to have systemic change, we would need to go way deeper in all of these areas. The first thing we did, by the way, that's one aisle, half of an aisle of our warehouse on the, is that the left side or your left side? We decided to change our very measure of success, change the metric. Our organization earned the title of distributing the most pounds of food over several years. We were pound movers, and doggone it, were we proud, as well we should have been. Moving 6 million or 65 million pounds of food a year is no small feat. It's back-breaking work requiring technology and sophisticated logistics. It is not typical that the leader in a space will decide to change the point system, but we did. We decided that we would focus on meals, since that's how our client experiences our work. Pounds were about us. That decision meant that our overall success number would appear lower, since it takes more pounds to create one meal. So yes, we would have to do more to appear to be doing less. But our target was providing care and service to where we were needed most, not just measuring where we'd been. So next, we introduced a new strategic lens. After my COO, Lisa Hines-Johnson, and I, we traveled all over the country. Yes, I know New Yorkers believe we do everything the best, but I'm from Mississippi. I know there are a couple of things that the rest of the country, they're winning. Sorry, biscuits are better in Mississippi. Unless I cooked it in my apartment. But I digress. So we traveled around the country to get these great examples. And we kept seeing this use of something called a meal gap. And we loved it. They were using it to show a descriptor of need in their city. It wasn't using pity. It was actually using a data point. Clean, easy, loved it. We decided it needs to come back to New York City. So we brought it. The meal gap allowed us to be more thoughtful about partnerships, resources, priorities. In a citywide network of 1,000 charities, it provided a new priority system. It was a game changer for our work. In the past couple of years, I'm actually beyond proud to say that both the city of New York and the state of New York have joined us by utilizing the meal gap in important decisions related to resources for the poor everywhere. Next, we looked at what the hunger community needed most. We didn't have to look far. In 2008, Food Bank for New York City actually merged with one of our member agencies, known for having some of the most effective anti-hunger, anti-poverty programs. They were known for a mechanism for helping clients get help beyond food in the form of benefits and cash via a refund from the IRS. But since taking over those programs in the space, Food Bank was still doing the work directly to individuals. Well, now that we were saying that we were going to change the game and come up with a new approach, we decided that rather than being a server of men, we are going to become a sharer with charities. So lastly, we opened ourselves up to various forms of service delivery. That's right, girls driving, we too have an RV. We took taxes and food stamps and food pantries, and we put them on schools. We got RVs, and we shared them with soup kitchens and pantries to go into neighborhoods that we were not reaching, but who needed us. We used food and training to encourage soup kitchens and pantries to try new ways of serving their clientele. In a nutshell, we threw everything, including the kitchen sink, into that doggone meal gap. And we've had great success. 4 years ago, while doing taxes for the working poor on our own and partnered with about 13 charities, we averaged about $60 million in refunds annually for the working poor. Today, we have close to 200 charities working as partners in our tax work, and we've now more than doubled our output, last year bringing in $144 million to the working poor. Alone, our tax program served about 35,000 returns. This year, with our partners, we're now just shy of 90,000 returns. 4 years ago, we decided to pursue a strategy of seeding options for taxes, food stamp outreach in these communities. Today, we have actual proof that by combining taxes with food stamps, soup kitchens and pantries can actually lift the families they serve above the poverty line, helping them to need all of us less. It has been powerful and it makes us feel successful. When we started this food stamp outreach work, some thought we were crazy for changing the metrics from pounds on our trucks to a new skills in our network. Well, by focusing on the gap in charities within, not only did we almost hit 80 million pounds of food from our warehouse just last year, we've added an additional 13 million meals that families were able to purchase at the grocery store. Restoring dignity to our customers makes us feel successful. But more important than our successes have been our lessons, and boy, have we learned a lot. Real change of the experience of those facing hunger requires a motley crew. Yes, I'm aging myself in case you didn't know who that was. From car companies to banks, to Girl Scouts to nuns, we had to open our expectations of what an expert looks like. Not quite like that. There's this brilliant book, it's called Customers Included, maybe you've heard of it. And it references the importance of listening to and involving your customers in your plans. So before Lisa and I ever went to our board or even to our donors, we met with our members. These conversations meant that authority and expertise for our future would forever be changed. It would no longer be based in title or wealth. It would be based in the knowledge of the problems faced and the needs experienced in impoverished communities. We are committed to doing something big, everybody. And that meant that we couldn't limit the possibilities by our own perceptions of what help and authority should look like. You see, in our world, everything can change with a simple conversation. Changing the narrative from our success in moving pounds to the meal gap's need for more capacity produced lots of unexpected bounty. Telling the truth of our limitations and the real impact of poverty opened our mission up to a lot of opportunities that the status quo would never have afforded us. We couldn't have produced new food or dollars for the working poor, new partners for the hunger community, if we hadn't provided important glimpses into all that our network didn't have and all that we couldn't do. So it's been put on my spirit to say, we also need an expert in technology, desperately. We need an expert in technology, I'm gonna say it twice, so hopefully, to help us with data security for all of these people that we're helping, and to help us with, we need some secure, like some Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi. In the poorest neighborhoods, they don't have it, and it hurts us. So anybody knows anybody, oh, that's right, Albert's coming up later. Maybe he can do something. But we also failed a lot. We questioned, why did we open ourselves up to this more than pounds narrative? The average donor doesn't even care. People were fine with the past. Heck, some of them are still stuck there. Going from popping your collar to rubbing your temples is hard. Going from long victory laps and applause to barely a victory skip because you're busy crafting a plan that no one even asked for is constantly frustrating. And to be clear, I'm actually A-okay with a strikeout. Actually, because I was raised in a baseball family, actually, the uglier the strikeout really means the harder the person was trying. So I actually kind of like when I see my team strike out in a really ugly fashion, because it says a lot. It says a heck of a lot more than a freaking bunter will ever say. Seriously. Hit the ball, strike out. Those are the options. Don't bunt. But anyway, failure is actually not the opposite of success. What we've learned is that, in fact, it is a part of success if you don't get stuck and stop moving. The hardest lesson that we learned is that we even failed our customer. So yes, my team knows I like to tell the truth because the truth is important and it truly will set you free. You see, as a food bank, see that three-legged stool? I actually have three customers. There's a client, there's a charity, and there's the donor. Our process is fueled by feedback from our clients and our charities. We have a soup kitchen in Harlem. It acts as a laboratory. We learn something every day. We hear from our members because we talk to them regularly. I have a strategy council made up of charities. I do Friday meetings where I go out to soup kitchens and pantries. Nobody knows which one I'm going to go to because I don't want my staff to prep them. We hear from our members regularly. They're almost like a little mini board. We change the way we communicate it with everybody except our donor. I've had the opportunity to have deep, tough conversations with those who fund our work. I learned that, yes, we have told them about our accomplishments, but we didn't make them feel involved in our solutions. We invited them to the party. We played great hits. We even let them watch us do the two-step and the funky chicken. But we did not make them feel like we wanted to dance with them. As a Southern woman raised on hospitality and gratitude, these conversations, while being hurtful, gut-wrenching actually, because of course my mama is an alley cat hyena too, they have been truly the greatest gift ever to my organization and to me as a leader. We will become even more successful by knowing about our greatest failure. Already it's led me to the greatest and last lesson on this journey. See, more than additional soldiers, as a leader, what I've learned on this journey is that I needed to diversify my soldiers. See, our true battle, any true battle, a true shot at changing a system means that you've got to be ready to hit the ground, engage the public, start a conversation on any and every level. There was a time that subject matter experts and idea folks alone could get credit for good works. Well, we've now developed and tested theories. We need executors, nimble, enthusiastic, engaging soldiers, able and willing to pounce on our mission's next season. Like the last segment said, moving like they are not afraid. It's key. At Food Bank for New York City, we certainly know that hunger is a problem. As an American, you know that hunger is a problem. But I'm so grateful that this journey has also taught me that New Yorkers are our best solution. And in the next chapter of our journey, we're going to be bridging the gap by building an even bigger stage for more players to bring more texture, results, life to our shared story. We're excited about what we're going to produce together, not only as citizens of this country we love, but as neighbors and certainly as New Yorkers. Thank y'all so much.